Hello and welcome to this episode of Magician's Advice Recommends. In this episode, our friend Professor Dan is going to be talking about a book that he's read. I'm sure you know which book it is because you've seen the thumbnail. Thanks, Dan, and I hope everyone enjoys it. Bye.
Hello, my name is Dan and I am a full-time children's entertainer based in York, and I thought today I would do especially for you a review of Parlour Tricks by Rhys Morgan and Robert West, brought out by Vanishing Ink Magic. Yes, they are magicians, time travellers and all-round spiffing chaps. Here we go. Okay, so before we get into the review, I thought I would talk about how I came to know about the dynamic duo. So, when they first came out, I wasn't too bothered about them. They looked a bit too serious for me. But then I found out that they were doing kids shows and they were performing at the Yorkshire Fringe. Being from York, I really needed to go and see it. I went to see it and it was so good I went to see it twice. Yes, the reason I liked it was Mr. West hates children. Yeah, and to say it's a children's show, they do a bullet catch, which is brilliant, and they've actually got 2 children's shows touring, and I haven't seen the second one and I need to see it, but it's not about that today. And after that I decided, okay, I need to see their other shows. Me and the wife went to Manchester a few years ago to see Parlour Tricks, which is what this book is based off, and after that I was hooked, and I've even got their thought of cards across, and I've got an idea for a place in it in my family show, which is very exciting. But let's go into the introduction of the book. So I would like to talk about the book itself first. Well, the front cover is very shiny, nice and inky. You can see that. There we are. It is a rough matte, I would say. And if I was to describe this book, if this was with a load of Charles Dickens books, it would blend in nicely. That Victorian era, with them being Victorian magicians and everything. And the writing itself is a good font. I am dyslexic, I do struggle to read, but I still managed to understand everything in the book. Pictures of throughout the book are nice. This is the set of Parlour Tricks, so when the audience come into the theatre, this is what they see. Which is nice, and as well as it looks like a book that was written by time travelling magicians, they also write like time travelling magicians, which is very entertaining. As well as that, you have a attached bookmark, so you're never going to lose your place in the book. So we start with Hector Chadwick talking about the double act, and then we go into an introduction by them, and then it gets fun. The how to use this book chapter, very entertaining. It will tell you the effects, and then we will go on to the props needed for the effect and the preparation needed. Then the method, pretty standard so far. But then we go into a script, and there's an example of the script, which is very funny. And in a past life I used to do a lot of acting, and so reading Stage Right, Stage Left brings back many happy memories. Yeah, and then we go into the essay. Oh, now this is where you're going to get your golden nuggets, everyone. This is where the gold is in this book. And they talk a lot about their character, for example, and I realised that a lot of my favourite performers perform in character. Didn't realise that until now. For example, Carissa Hendricks, she does a lot of characters. Matthew Wright performs in a character. Rob Zibracki, he performs in character. Myself, I perform as a persona. But it shows how much that can change your show in general, to be honest. Yeah, so let's get into it. So there are 12 routines in the book, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just give you my top 3. And the first one I really enjoyed was the restarting bottles. Yeah, and let's see. We all know the Ken Brooks multiplying bottles, popularised by Tommy Cooper. That's kind of the problem. We all know it. Our audiences know it. Everyone knows the routine. That's the problem. And that's the problem they tackle in this book. How they made it their own, and how they made it look a part of their show. Coming in at number 2. A moment of impossibility. So the reason I liked this routine was they talk about how they liked the idea of an impossible object, and then more importantly they talk about the scripting for a routine, or how they go about scripting a routine, and then they talk about listening to their audience. Very important. I mean, they do that all the way through the book, about how to listen to your audience and how we should use that to our advantage. We should all do that a lot more. And they go into that a lot more in this chapter. Coming in at number 3. The permanent linking rings. So they talk about it for all the routines, but specifically for this one, they want the purest version of the linking rings. And the problem with the linking rings is the same as the multiplying bottles. And they talk about how they came up with their solution for the classic linking rings. I really enjoyed this. Now onto the pros and cons. Onto the pros first. First off, nice book to look at, obviously. The routines are very unique. They're variations of classics, but like I've already said, you're going to get your money's worth from the essays in the book. We learn a lot about stagecraft, with it being parlour tricks. It's not close up, you know, it's for stage, and they're going to talk a lot more about lighting, sound effects, staging, and set design in general. My favourite bit was audience management. In a past life, they were teachers, and that how they used that to their advantage in their stage shows was very interesting. And like I've already said, listening to their audiences, and they say that their routines are never finished. It's constantly working on how they can improve it. And in some of the routines they talk about the first version of the routine we finally see in the video, second version, and then what we actually see in the video, and how they want to increase it and make it better as well. Yeah. Okay, now for the cons. Okay, so they're a double act, obviously. They're going to use that to their advantage, aren't they? And because of that, some of the routines if you are a solo performer, as I am, I won't be able to do some of these because you need a second guy or lady, and that means we are going to have to use our imaginations and be a bit creative for once and not have it handed to us. We're going to have to figure out how to do these effects, if we want to do these effects, in our own version, our own style and our own method, really. So that is one of the cons. What else? That's the only con, really. I do like all the routines in the book, but they were my top 3, and in each routine you learn something new, like I've already said, about the scripting, or about the plot, or about how to evolve a trick that's been used by everyone forever, you know. And don't think, is there any no more negatives. Okay, and here we are, the final thoughts. Right, so I hope that was insightful for you guys out there, and hope that helps you decide if you want to purchase the book or not. Apart from that, Reese and Robert, brilliant book. I don't read books, I don't, and I was excited when I found out you were bringing this out, and as soon as it came, I read it, and I watched the videos, and just the fact that you put a video in with the book made it easy for me, and brought back happy memories, so well done. And I am now going to go and learn Thought of Cards Across. Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd, aren't I? Bit of a fan, bit of a geek. There we go. I'm gonna go learn that now. So apart from that, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I've been Dan, you've been lovely, I'll see you next time. Bye!